Hi, I'm John Niven. This is my new novel, Straight White Male, and you're watching Book Zone.
John, what is Straight White Male about?
It's the story of a sort of middle-aged, alcoholic, sex addict, novelist turned screenwriter called Kennedy Marr, who's living in LA and living a fairly high lifestyle, earning a lot of money but spending a fortune too. And he's got tax problems. And basically he wins a big literary award, but the terms of it require him to go back to England, where he hasn't lived for 7 or 8 years, and do a semester teaching at a university where his ex-wife is also based. And it sort of forces him to go back and confront certain things in his past. Both his daughter, who he hasn't seen for some time, and his mother, who's dying, his family, you know. He's not keen to do it, but he kind of has to.
Your lead character, Kennedy Marr, is a womanizing, hard-drinking wordsmith. Is he based on anyone you know?
If only I did as much womanizing as Kennedy. No, he's just, Kennedy's a bit of a throwback. You used to get in literature a lot, especially in America, you get characters like Norman Mailer, who would drink and brawl and, fight and screw and would live quite sort of outre, glamorous lifestyles. Whereas now we don't seem to have so many of those characters in literature. Everybody seems kind of sensible. So I quite like characters like that. So it was an attempt to create that kind of persona, that kind of guy, rather than it being me.
The title, the characters, the subject matter is all aimed at men. Is this book for readers of lads' mags?
I really hope not. I really hope it's something more than that. And I've had a great response to the book from a lot of women I know. I think in the first half of the book, when we're in LA, the book's sort of split in two sections. The first half's in Los Angeles and then the second half back in England. And I think in the first half it is more that sort of high-octane sort of, breakneck pace, party lifestyle Kennedy's living. But the second half of the book becomes a bit more reflective and a bit more sombre, as he has to sort of deal with certain issues of middle age. My friend India Knight, the columnist, said an interesting thing in this Hey and Why this year. She was asked why men seem to own the midlife crisis novel more, like it was more of a guy thing. And she said, which I thought was bang on the money, she said, I think men just tend to have behaved more badly, they've behaved worse by middle age, so there's more regrets to deal with, and that's kind of what Kennedy has to deal with in the second half of the book.
There's a lot of humour in your work. How important is humour as a literary device?
Well, I think being funny is about the hardest thing to do, and it's an old conversation, this, that it's not recognised very often, whether it's the Oscars or whether it's literary prizes. Comic novels tend to get fairly short shrift. It's actually far more, it's easier to be sort of serious on the page than it is to be funny, and the challenge with this book, that I tried very hard to do both,
You used to be a talent spotter, an A&R man in the music industry. So had you not succeeded as a writer, might you have been another Simon Cowell?
oh God, no. That's not to disparage Simon Cowell. I just was nowhere near talented enough as an A&R guy. And also, it was never what I was meant to be doing. I was always meant to be a writer, I think. And so I never took it seriously enough. I had a great time, but I didn't really play the game seriously.
John, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
The book is Straight White Male and the author is John Niven.